up, Steelers Nation? It's Tank and Mike for Steelers Chalk Talk. Mike, I want to talk about two people. Maybe Romeo and Juliet, I hope, is what becomes of this. Yeah, right. Matt Canada.
No, you don't want that. No, you really.
Matt Canada and Ben Roethlisberger are going to be like Romeo and Juliet.
No, that was Randy Fichtner and Ben Roethlisberger. You don't want that. He's a coach. Let him coach. Let him tell you what to do. This is a coach-player relationship. This is not a
bromance.
An affair. Yeah,
and a bromance.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what went horribly wrong with Randy Fichtner's offense last year, whether it was Fichtner calling the plays or Ben demanding these short shuttle passes for 3 and 4 yards up the middle, that is no kind of offense. I don't want to revisit the past. You know what happened. 11-0 led to nowhere. They got beat up by a bunch of thugs from Cleveland in an alley, and it was horrible. Let's talk about this Matt Canada, Ben Roethlisberger amalgam of two good, solid football minds. Mike, what is this offense going to look like?
Well, you look back at where he was when he was at Maryland. He was at Pitt briefly, and we're expecting to see a lot more running the football, a lot more motion, some jet sweep, getting guys moving, and sort of like possibly the Kansas City Chiefs, how they kind of move guys around but also still run the ball downfield. And again, a little bit of that college package that he was using over at the University of Maryland.
Well, let's talk about that running game. Last year, all you Yunzers out there in Steelers Nation were saying, where's the run game? And it was non-evident. First of all, you had a $9 million fullback not used. You overran James Conner. You ran him out of Pittsburgh. Big thing, though. Najee Harris from Alabama. This kid, Kalen Ballage, are coming to town. So look out. Now you got a two-headed Hydra back there that is capable of creating a ground game.
Yeah, no, you've got both of those guys out there. We used to call it a pony set when we had two halfbacks in the game. You know, both of those guys can run downfield, run downhill as well, and both of them can catch out of the backfield. When you have that pony set, that's a huge advantage. But then all of a sudden you add in Derek Watt, and he's now all of a sudden the fullback in the I formation coming downhill. Full steam ahead. Watt on the linebacker, let Najee Harris read the block and then bounce it and take it 60, 70. But here's the thing, it's the run game. That sets up the play action pass, the passing game. Now all of a sudden you got the two tight ends now. You've got Eric Ebron and the new kid from Penn State.
Friar Tuck from Penn State.
You get a little bit of two tight end solo personnel, which is Tiger, 12 personnel, two tight ends, one running back, two receivers. You got Claypool, Deontay Johnson, and then you can bring Juju in as an E-set, which is, he actually replaces the tight end. You can put the two running backs. There's just so many possibilities with all the weapons they have right now. They have to be able to utilize that personnel and confuse the defense with the personnel, with the motions, with the formations, and that will actually make things a heck of a lot harder for the defense and a heck of a lot easier for the Steelers as opposed to lining up 5 wide and they only have one option. That's the passive football. If you do that again this year against the Cleveland Browns, you won't just lose once, you'll lose twice because you've got not only Myles Garrett, you've got Jadeveon Clowney on the other side now as well.
Balance. One thing your 2020 Steelers lacked, even though they went 11-0, Mike, was balance. Your offense needs to mature as the season goes along. Well, what does that mean? Well, you do an evaluation after the first 4 games. What's working for you? What feels good for Ben Roethlisberger? Who's performing? Of the rookies, who's stepping up? And of course, you've got Najee Harris, the rookie. You got 2 rookies that were drafted for offensive line purposes. Kendrick Green is to replace Marquise Pouncey. And trust me, I like Kendrick Green because the kid came out and said, I like to play mean and nasty, just like Mr. Pouncey did. You got to look at the kid from Texas A&M, who's playing left tackle. He was a Joe Moore. For you Pitt people, you know and respect Coach Joe Moore. He was a Joe Moore award-winning finalist. These 2 guys are capable of stepping into this offense and playing. So after 4 games, you evaluate, you tinker with that offense. You played in the NFL.
Yeah.
You, by week 16, well, 17 this year, you should be a finely honed offense.
Well, yeah, you know, and you're correct in the fact that, you know, they do self-evaluate, and, you know, they'll look back at the 4 games. But again, this year we got a preseason. So typically when you go into a training camp, the defense is a little ahead of the offense because the offense's timing's not done. You got a lot of guys learning a new offense. Now that they got the off-season program back up and running without the COVID, now that they have a little bit of a preseason, they'll be able to see who can step up and play. They didn't have that opportunity last year. They kind of just went into it, and it started off great, but then it kind of fizzled out. They have to continue to self-evaluate throughout the season and kind of what's working, what's our identity. Steelers never really had an identity the past 3-4 years. It was like, what are they good at? And now that with Matt Canada, he's got to be able to establish an identity. Look, we want to run the football. We want to come down, be Steeler football, physical football, come downhill, and then utilize the play action pass. Again, helping Ben, making things easier for him on the passing game instead of just sitting back there like a sitting duck.
So you're gonna get the ground game with Najee Harris. Look out for Kalen Ballage. This kid is big, quick-feeted, and he likes to hit, and he can run. You've got a two-headed Hydra back there. Throw the Watt beast at fullback. You've got a running game. Boy, oh boy, your Hall of Fame quarterback's got to be licking his chops because, Mike, when that 11-0 run happened last year, there was talk, hey, this Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiving core might be the best in the league. Well, as the season unfolded, we had some maturity problems. I don't want to get into that. We had some drop problems. As you enter 2021, Mike, you are a pro quarterback. You got to love this offensive wide receiving team for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You do, but also, you can have the greatest wide receiving team, but if everyone knows what you're going to do, it makes it a lot more difficult.
You mean a three-yard button hook and throw? 3-yard button hook and throw?
Yeah, the one-dimensional offense is not conducive for the receiving core. It's just when you're on 3rd and 1 and you line up in the shotgun and 5 wide, there's only one option. We know Ben is not going to QB sneak it anymore. He can't run the way he used to. So those D ends and D tackles are pinning their ear backs and they're rushing to that spot. Now when you're on 3rd and 1 and you have Eric Ebron or Freiermouth and then Derek Watt in the backfield, and then you have Claypool and Deontay Johnson, and then you add a little short motion in, and Ben takes the ball from underneath center, turns his back full. Hey, here comes Derek Watt. He's going to punch you right in the mouth, and you got Najee Harris who's going to bounce it to the outside and take it to the house. Or after you do that a couple times, now here comes little play the guitar. Mariucci, play the guitar. Wipe the spit off the hand. Put the ball in the belly. Wipe that spit. Here comes the run. No, he pulls it out. Ebron's on a corner route.
How about Juju in a slot flying? How about Ray McLeod?
Juju's going to be the possession receiver, like on the 3rd downs, the 2nd downs over the middle, but Deontay Johnson on a post, Claypool on a little in and out arrow route, and then you get Watt out in the backfield. He can catch the football, a little play action fake. I'm telling you, there's so much more options when on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, all those short yardage options. You get some big explosive plays when you have a fullback and you have a run game that can just come down and punch you in the mouth. That's where your big pass plays will come in. It's so easy because they're so wide open because the defense is focused on that running game.
From shame to glory in 2021 is the Tank's prediction. This offense is poised to explode this season, predicated upon Big Ben's performance, of course. But last year, Mike, he had the second most yards he ever had in his career. So these Yunzers out here saying Ben Rothliseberger is done, I think are out of their mind.
Well, again, do you want yards or do you want wins?
I want a Super Bowl trophy, number 7.
And, Ben's got the arm strength. He's a good decision maker. He's got the arm strength. All he has to do is learn how to throw on time a little bit, and he's going to get some help. Trust Matt Canada, his offensive coordinator, trust him. And hey, sometimes the best play is just to hand it off and let the running back do his thing.
In Ben we trust as the 2021 season unfolds, just out of OTAs and mini training camp here in the springtime. My lips are already chomping at the bit.
Well, you've heard some interviews that Ben come out and has said this is an offense that Steeler fans are not used to seeing. He's never seen it, and so we know Ben likes to throw the football around. But now that he's kind of buying into what Matt Canada is going to bring in, I'm excited to see what they're going to do, especially in the preseason. You'll get a taste of it. You won't see it all because you don't want to expose everything. You want to put some stuff on film. You want defenses to have to waste their time doing stuff in practice and then hit him in the mouth with the surprises as the season starts.
Ray McLeod with 50 catches this I don't know. But look for an exciting Pittsburgh
Look for him
Steelers.
on that speed motion on that jet sweep.
Oh, I can't wait to see this offense. I'm Tank. He's Mike. This is Steelers Chalk Talk, and I'm fired up!